Hi. Hey, I'm here to share my ASEA testimony for you. We've been on the product for about 5.5 years, and I've had some really dramatic changes. Some of them we had worked and used a lot of wellness products in the past, and now, and I thought, oh, I just have some aches and pains that are just life getting older. But not so, because I don't have to live with those anymore. I have some feet that would keep me awake at night from some protrusions right below my large toes on both feet. They wouldn't let me run, wouldn't let me walk very far. Hiking was out of the question. And then you combine that with some breathing issues I had. And whenever I would start to exercise much, I would start to have large problems breathing. Even had people stop me and say, "Do you need my inhaler?" So it really was limiting on what activities I could do. And now I can run. I ran 5 miles at Sean Burke's gym this week. I ran another 3 miles. I'll go to track practice on Tuesday. I rode 25 miles today, and no breathing issues at all. Swam after that. And doing things that I never dreamed I would be able to do, doing a sprint triathlon, but then even winning a sprint triathlon, something I wouldn't have been in my realm of possibilities before. So ASEA has really changed my life.
Well, we're Jerry and Marcia White, by the way, and we started this pretty far down in a hole in our belief systems, and sometimes just the hope systems. I was working very hard to try to save my last business with a really good friend, Terry Latham, and we just couldn't do it. Marcia had pulled out long before because it was just so emotionally taxing to watch that whole thing just sort of wither. And Denny came along and struck my scientific side as a physical therapist. She said that she knew that I had a lot of background in the human body and physiology. In fact, Marcia and I met coaching swimming, and we are consistently athletic in the things that we do. I think we'd explode if we weren't. And Danny got me a box of ASEA, and I tried to hide it in my closet, but you don't hide anything from Marcia. And I was really reticent. I did not want to change what I was doing before, although it's like hanging onto the rock that's taking you down to the bottom. But I just thought I could pull it back up, and I tried it. And the surprising thing to me was that it changed athletically. I know how long it takes me to swim 4 lengths of the pool. And I do 10 of those in a row, and I know exactly what that pace is. I know what my heart rate is. I'm just kind of a nerd for that kind of stuff. And all of a sudden, I could go up to 4 seconds faster, which is unfathomable after 50 years of doing it, with a lower heart rate, 10 beats a minute lower, and go more and more and more. It was really sort of intriguing, and it's kept playing in the back of my mind. Although I did tell Denny to go away, jump in a hole, fill it up, and it was sort of a little bit just like I was so frustrated I had to say, stop, no more, don't talk to me anymore. I'm so strung out trying to do what I'm doing over here. I was gonna do that business till it killed me, and it almost killed me. So Marcia came along, and we had a product experience there.
Oh, and Katie?
Yeah.
Oh, our first family product experience was excuse me? Oh, shoot. Can you message that and tell it to go away? Our first family experience was our daughter was really, really sick. She was going to be a freshman in college. She was on the couch. She had that kissing disease. She had throat problems. She had head problems. She was a mess, and she's a tough kid. She couldn't even get off the couch, and I was supposed to send her to Arizona, from Washington to Arizona, my first kid to go to college out of state, and it wasn't setting well with Mama Bear to send that kid that sick, and knowing that she'd relapse too, because she's going into a freshman year, and you just don't get rid of those problems, and they don't stay away when you're a kid that age. So we called up and said, okay, Danny, give us some of that stuff. And we gave it to her, And within 48 hours, she was up going to going away parties. We went on a family vacation, a family reunion on the way up at a lake cabin, swimming, playing, hiking. Forgot to give her ASEA one day because she was feeling so good. And she just tanked. Gave it to her. She did great. She never relapsed in college. She never had a problem her whole freshman year, the whole rest of her college career, being on this product. And that was really what was the turning point for us, that this is really something to look at.
And so, Jerry, you guys started to use the product and you started to put it on other people, and what did you see?
Well, I've been a long-time advocate of in science and physical therapy in my laboratory and my teaching. It had to work. Many times there was a lot of theory. And many times there were things where people actually got charged for stuff that didn't work at all. It drove me nuts in professional life. And along came ASEA, which was doing things that were pretty unfathomable. How did the body turn completely, start being able to do things that you did when you were younger? It's sort of an elegant idea that you could remind the cells in your body, we're not going to do anything strange here, we're just going to do what you always did before. And over time, that begins to replace the cells. You see, as a coach and a trainer in physical therapy and all the stuff that led up to it, one key component we worked on was the idea, even in physical therapy and rehab, if you stress the body appropriately and give it the right kind of rest, it will rebuild itself. So it's not that far flung an idea, but to have discovered the way that it builds itself and what we're missing in the process of rebuilding itself and even identifying what's wrong with it, there is no limit to this. This is beyond the biggest discovery I could ever have imagined, and I taught physiology and never heard of it at all.